Hey everyone! So, are you earning money from the United States but you're not actually living there? Yeah? Then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to slice through all that confusion around US tax IDs for non-residents. We're going to tackle that big question: do you need an SSN or an ITIN? Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's picture this. You're a freelancer, you've got clients in the US. Or maybe you're an investor playing the US markets, or you own a US-based LLC. You see that income landing in your account, and that little question pops into your head. Wait, do I owe anything to Uncle Sam? It's a super important question, and getting it right is absolutely essential for your business.
Now, before we jump into the nitty-gritty, we have got to talk about a really common and honestly a pretty expensive mistake a lot of people make when it comes to US taxes if they live abroad. Does this sound familiar? I don't live in the US, so I don't need to pay US taxes. Maybe you've thought this yourself or heard a friend say it. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? If you don't live there, why would you pay taxes there? It's a super common belief.
But it's totally wrong. Yeah, that's the myth. And honestly, that one little assumption can land you in some hot water with the IRS. So let's just clear this up right here, right now.
Okay, so here's the deal. The rule is actually pretty simple. If you earn what's called US-sourced income, you have to file a US tax return. Doesn't matter where on the planet you live. And US-sourced? That just means the money is coming from clients, investments, or businesses inside the United States. So this hits freelancers with American clients, international investors, and a lot of you non-resident LLC owners. At the end of the day, it's where the money comes from that matters. All right, so you get it. You need to file. Great. The very next step is getting a taxpayer ID number. And this is where so many people get tripped up between two little acronyms, SSN and ITIN. Here's the thing, they are not the same at all, and you have to pick the right one. So let's break it all down. So first up, we have the Social Security number, the SSN. This is the one you've probably heard about, right? It's the standard ID for US citizens and some authorized residents. The key thing to remember is that it's tied to being able to work in the US and getting Social Security benefits. For most of you listening, if you're a non-resident earning US income, this is probably not the number you're going to get. Now this table, this really lays it all out perfectly. Just look at that first row. Who qualifies? An SSN is for citizens and residents. Simple. The ITN? That is specifically for non-residents who need to file taxes. And that perfectly explains the primary purpose row, right? An SSN is for work and benefits. An ITN is just for federal tax reporting. That's it. And that last row, that is the absolute key takeaway here. An ITN does not, I repeat, does not give you the green light to work in the US. Okay, so since an SSN is probably off the table for most non-residents, the ITIN becomes your absolute best friend. Seriously, think of it as more than just a tax number. It's the key that unlocks your ability to work smoothly within the US financial system, all from wherever you are in the world. Let's take a look at what it really does for you. So what exactly is an ITIN in official terms? Well, the Individual Taxpayer Identification Number was literally created by the IRS for this exact scenario. It's for people who can't get an SSN but still have to file a US tax return. It is the specific tool for this specific job. So what can you do with an ITIN? Well, number one, its main job is filing your taxes and just staying on the right side of US law. But that second point right there is a huge bonus. A lot of US banks will actually accept an ITIN to open a business bank account. And for managing your US income, that is a total game changer. Now, it's just as important to know what an ITIN is not for. Let me be crystal clear about this. It does not give you permission to work in the United States. It is not a work visa or a work permit. And it also doesn't make you eligible for any Social Security benefits. Just remember, it is purely 100% a tax processing number. Okay, you're on board. You're convinced. You need an ITIN. The question is, how do you actually go about getting one? Well, the good news is you've got a couple of really clear options, and it mostly depends on your timeline and, how comfortable you are handling the paperwork yourself. So you've basically got two paths you can take. The first is the standard way. You handle it all yourself by filling out and submitting IRS Form W-7. The other option, the faster way, is to use a specialized service like ITIN.com that can give you some expert help and just make sure everything's done right from the get-go. So let's put them side by side.
Going directly to the IRS is, free, which is great. But it can be slow. We're talking 7 to 11 weeks, sometimes even longer. And here's the kicker. If you make even one tiny mistake, your application gets rejected and you have to start all over. Now, using a service does cost money, but you're paying for their expertise to get it right the first time, which, as you can imagine, can make the whole thing go a lot faster.
All right, let's do a super quick recap of the most important takeaways here. First things first, if you're earning US-sourced income, you need to file US taxes, period. Second, an SSN is for US citizens and residents. The ITN is the tool specifically for non-resident filers like you. And finally, your ITN is super powerful. It lets you file taxes and open bank accounts. But always remember, it is not for working in the US.
Now, if you decide that getting some expert help is the best way to go for you, one of the top services out there is ITIN.com. And as a little something for our viewers, they've actually given us a code. You can use Alicia50 on their website to get $50 off their service.
Getting your tax situation sorted out is such a huge step. It really legitimizes and helps you grow your international business. It just removes this giant roadblock. So, with that piece of the puzzle finally solved, the only question left is, what's the next big thing you're going to build?